Welcome to the Stock2Me Podcast, powered by IBN. This original audio production delivers market and sector insights, as well as exclusive interviews with innovative executives shaping the future in fast-moving industries, and may feature a client partner of IBN or one of the 60-plus investor-focused brands within IBN's dynamic brand portfolio. As a multifaceted financial news and publishing company, IBN leverages its extensive distribution network, utilizing multiple proprietary corporate communication tools to introduce both public and private companies to a vast and diverse audience of investors, consumers, influencers, journalists, and other targeted segments of the public. IBN may have received compensation to produce this audio content. Please be sure to read IBN's entire disclaimers for full disclosures. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the next revelatory episode of IBN's Stock2Me Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to another revelatory episode with me, Carmel Fisher, where we bring you all the bits of information you need to do your due diligence out there in the capital markets. A very interesting theme we're focusing on today is the robotics revolution. Now, this is transforming industries at an unprecedented pace with automation and, yes, the buzzword AI-powered systems becoming integral to operations across manufacturing, healthcare, retail, logistics, you name it. Perhaps nowhere, though, is this transformation more visible or more promising than in the hospitality sector. Robots and AI are revolutionizing everything, right? From guest check-in and room service to housekeeping concierge services even. Leading this hospitality robotics transformation is Nightfood Holdings. They are listed on OTC as NGTF, and they have strategically pivoted to become a robotics-first company by completing their first hotel acquisition. I am so excited to welcome today's CEO for Nightfood Holdings, Mr. Jimmy Chan, as well as President and Director, Mr. Ried Floco. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you. I hope I did justice to that introduction, because it's really such a pivotal industry that you guys are a part of right now.
Yeah, we have a lot going.
A lot going on. So, just for our viewers, tell us more about Nightfood Holdings, the mission, the vision, where you guys stand right now.
Yeah, so Nightfood Holding, we started, our team basically took over Nightfood Holding earlier this year. Started the roll-up of total of 5 companies, 2 hotels asset we're targeting. Closed one today already. We have one more that's coming up, hopefully to wrap it up this next week or so. Awesome. And then we have 2 robotics subsidiary wholly owned. One is Robo365. The other one is SkyTech Robotic. And then, so it was SkyTech when we did the merger, and then the new name we're going to be doing business under is TechForce. As well as the parent company, we are going to be doing business as TechForce Robotic. Right now we have a DBA file.
Great.
However, as soon as we are ready for the exchange, we will do business from the parent company is going to be replaced as a TechForce Robotic as well.
Awesome. Do you know, you said that's already been filed. How soon can we expect to just be saying TechForce Robotics?
Today.
Awesome. Well, there we have it. Okay, so Ried, tell us a little bit more about the competitive advantage. Obviously, this is a big market. There's a lot of interest. There's a lot of, companies coming forth and innovators taking a stand within this space. I'm seeing the little robots all over LA, delivering, etc. But you've got a specific use case for this. But tell us exactly what that competitive advantage is.
Yeah, I mean, we take it from an actual operations approach versus a robotic approach. Most companies have started, purely as, AI robots and coding and software advancements and hardware advancements. We've taken a different approach and said, okay, we have a vast background and experience in hospitality, hotels, and then, convention centers and other large arenas. And so we've taken a different approach and say, okay, how do we actually, make the robots solve real world problems? Because that's what it's really about for us.
Awesome. So it sounds like it's more an industry needs approach as opposed to a technology first approach. Am I correct in saying that?
Correct. And I mean, what's nice is we do all of our own software here in the United States with our own teams.
Amazing.
We are very much hands-on in the hotel business, so we know it very well. So we have the ability to adapt and really focus on solving a real problem. So it's a blend. We are definitely tech. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, having the vast background in the hospitality industry helps.
You mentioned a lot of experience on your team, and that's obviously a big draw card for anyone who's going to be, following your story. Tell us a little bit more about this combined experience, yours included, and of course yours, Jimmy. Tell us how this is going to, help you with the real estate background that you have, the hospitality, of course, and how this translates then into developing superior robotic solutions.
Absolutely. So, let's start with my background. I mean, I started as a housekeeper, front desk agent, night auditor, worked my way up to area manager, general manager, area manager, vice president, and then overseeing, a couple $1 billion in real estate and larger portfolios. So I know what it's like to move trash every day, to actually have to, go through the strains and constraints associated with, moving heavy linens and dirty linens and those type of things. So not just myself, but my team as well has that vast experience. And my team's been with me a good amount of time. From a software side, we as well have a strong background and close to 20 years of actually building software. Everything from apps, 15 years ago or 13 years ago, where we're like creating inventory management systems that are online back before anyone had these conversations. But we have that vast background, and from a real estate side, managing buildings in real estate and knowing how to position hotels has been very important. So bringing it all together, we're very fortunate. Have it all in-house, have a really strong, focused team, so that we can advance the company forward.
Excellent. I love the grassroots start to all of this. And that's where a lot of innovation starts from, right? Jimmy, can you add to the conversation in terms of, understanding from a grassroots level and being so deep in the reality of the day-to-day, how that translates into a good growth story?
I think that is our upper hand. Ried's, with his experience, I think, that's what separates us apart from other companies. So the way Ried put it is we're operationally focused, but we are a tech company. We do have heavy R&D. However, we don't want to. We leverage a lot of pre-existing technology, and then focus on the solution.
The reality of it is there's code has adapted over time and how we program and develop software. But we are very up to speed on it and focused on it.
Awesome stuff. So looking at your product portfolio from laundry helper to concierge, specialized robots like Maitre D and Dusty, interesting names, these appear to target very different market segments. Walk our investors, your investors, potential investors through the revenue model. Are these going to be direct sales, leasing arrangements, service contracts? And how does the unit economics work across these diverse applications? Which segments offer the most scalable growth potential?
Yeah, I think let's take the finance side of it. Doing robots as a service, we're not expecting customers to come in and have to buy a robot or get technically trained and becoming robot managers. That's what we're there for. So as a service, we have the ability to go into your facility, set up our robots, make it a plug-and-play experience, and then basically you're just paying for the service. So if you choose to scale, let's say we're starting with trash one day and we want to scale and start doing dirty linen or sweeping, you have the ability to add that service. So our robots, utilizing the AI side of it and the software side of it, they can adapt, they can learn themselves, and so implementation becomes very quick for us. But you as a client, you're no longer stuck with saying, okay, do I need 2 robots? Do I need 3 robots? Do I need 12? Am I doing 12 trash bins or 4 trash bins? So we have the ability to scale you. So the reality is you can adapt that. So let's just say you have a special event coming and you have 10, let's say 2 robots and 10 bins in your facility, and you have a big event coming. We could put 20 bins in your facility. So all we need is a little bit of notification. We can get them implemented. You're paying for that service for that time frame. The event's over. We can pull them back off. It's a very unique experience. So you don't have to become the expert. We're the experts that go in and make it happen. And so we've tried to make it a very straightforward and seamless process.
Very interesting. Obviously, developing AI robotics typically requires significant R&D investment. And obviously long development cycles, I can only imagine. You mentioned 2,000 different solutions created. that suggests substantial capital deployment. What are the current funding requirements to scale operations, Jimmy?
Most of the R&D already been done by Ried and his team. So the bots that we have today is right now capital need is mostly for deployment and also inventory purposes. So there's a lot of CapEx is going to go into this next 12 months or so. So sales, marketing, and pretty much inventory. Most of the R&D has already been done, and if any additional R&D that's going to go into play here is going to be for new products. Is where we're going to research and continue to R&D new technology for the hotel, but not limited to the hotel. We're actually touching on a lot of other sectors as well.
Yeah, and the nice thing about that is, we have a revenue stream immediately. Because of the as we implement robots and it is a service, people are able to pay for it at that point. So from that side, it becomes very scalable. And then additionally, we have spent 2 years in our properties going through and actually dialing them in and updating them and modifying them. So we are at that point where it's finally time to announce to the world that we are here. This is what we are doing. We are scaling. And to Jimmy's point in regards to R&D, we definitely have some cool new tech coming in the future that we are going to continue to advance. But we are going at this moment and able to ramp up into not just hotels, but other facilities, convention centers. If you start looking at the broader scope, you can sit there and go, I get photos on my phone all the time now where I have someone will text me a picture, they were at the mall and there's trash spilling over at the mall and they're like, can you do something about this? They're in a parking garage. Wow. They're like, can you do something about this? Or a hospital. We had a friend, I think 3-4 weeks ago, text me a picture. They just given birth to a baby and he's waiting and he's taking pictures of trash cans overflowing at the hospital. Those are all solvable problems. And honestly, it's about taking a task that we as humans have had to do historically.
Right.
We don't have to do that. Why are we moving the heaviest, dirtiest, kind of grossest items out there? Yeah. We should be able to kind of free up people's time to focus on better things.
I love it. I absolutely love the idea. Tell us a little bit more before we move on about your customer onboarding and where that stands. Obviously, you're scaling. So operationally, how seamless is this process?
I'll tell you right now, we had a client who's wants us in Arizona this next week. It's a school. And so within, 5 days, we have the ability to go out and set up the bots over the weekend while no one's there, and then have them operating next week. So, it's a fairly quick process at this point. Again, we lean on AI that we've developed, tech we've developed to allow us to do that. So we don't just look at it from, okay, our robots need to provide certain services, but we also have to make it so that it's streamlined for the customer as well as our team. So we can we can go out and implement in a timely manner.
Awesome. There's a presentation that mentions 100+ real-world problems solved. You've mentioned a few. I'm not going to ask you to list all 100. I'm sure there's even more than that. But obviously, robotics deployment often faces unexpected challenges in these controlled environments. Can you share specific examples of how TechForce robots, your specific robots, have performed in actual customer deployments, if there's any to speak of just yet? And what were the biggest implementation hurdles, and how did you overcome them?
Sure. If you go back 2 years ago when we started, our robots, if somebody put their foot out in front of the robot would pause and kind of wonder what's going on. But if you did that today, our robots know how to maneuver around that fairly seamlessly. Additionally, it's funny, when we started, we had very limited amount of cameras and sensors, and now we have more than a Tesla car. So we have all sorts of sensors on the robots. So we have advanced the technology considerably based on the goal of being able to really deploy it so that we are truly autonomous. I do not want human interaction. We're never going to be probably the sexiest or prettiest robot out there. We're the hard workers.
But you're the most useful.
That's right. We're the ones that are going to get it done.
There we go.
And so that's what we focus on, is getting it done. A lot of our focus on the AI and the software side of it is really about, how do we make it secure and successful for the customer but also looking bigger picture. How do we ramp further? So, you start looking at, other industries and government agencies, let's just say, where you have to have your servers on their facility. So, we build them here in the United States.
Right.
We develop it here in the United States. Our software and our tech doesn't go across, it doesn't go overseas, doesn't sit on overseas clouds or any of that stuff. So very unique to this industry.
Right.
So we're passionate about it, but it allows us to scale a lot easier as well.
Great stuff. Your robots span hospitality, ballparks, theme parks, healthcare, cleaning, logistics, massive markets, but also highly fragmented ones. What's the total addressable market estimate that you currently have, and how do you prioritize which verticals to focus on for maximum ROI? Jimmy, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so the data shows that, definitely everybody's onto this, from retail to hospitality. Every sector, every segment, everybody's looking into some form of AI, including ourselves. We're using ChatGPT and so forth. So the numbers right now globally, they're expecting the total addressable market to be breaking $100 billion in 2030 globally. Right. North America, $28 billion or so. But I think, we're right now, America is going to be always a little bit slower in terms of adopting new tech. But once we do, our market shares could be huge. I think that number is a little bit conservative. I think we should exceed 28 billion. So we're not sure, but we definitely want to play a big part of that. That's why our team's working hard on grabbing market share every day. So we're out there trying to deploy as many robots as we can.
Excellent. Talk to me about geographic expansion and any strategies around that.
Yeah, I mean, the original goal was to stay local, stay in Southern California. Okay. But as I mentioned previously, we're installing in Arizona this weekend. So we have a pending potential of doing something in the Midwest. I'm trying to keep things quiet, but at the same time, we're prepared to scale. I mean, we're at this point where we've dialed it in, and we are doing it actively. So it's really, the team's excited about continuing, just working through our lists of pending installs. It's an exciting time for us.
We're not worried about the customer. We're worried about production.
Yeah, it's keeping up. It's keeping up.
So the bottleneck may be production, because in a short period of time, if everybody wants it, it's going to be a little bit of a problem.
And then how do we mitigate that? What should investors know about how you're going to grapple that issue? Good problem to have, but how do you manage it?
We're the beauty, I mean, what I'm fortunate to have is a great team. A lot of the folks who I work with have been with me for 10, 15, even like 26 years. One of my managers has been with me. So we know how to kind of lean on that and to sit there and go, it's about when we bring them on board. But I do anticipate us continuing to, stay focused on anticipating the issue, addressing the issue, and being able to implement.
Right.
So.
Quick question, in terms of, developing or creating or manufacturing these robots, what is the developmental life cycle? So from concept to go to market of one particular robot, or a host of them, however you produce them, and then is that easily replicated? Yeah,
I mean, it's a fairly, a lot of the hard part is building the software and the AI and the programming. Right. And once you get the hardware dialed in, which we have partnerships on, it's just a matter of then, being able to manufacture.
Right.
But from a coding and software side of it, we're able to implement very timely, and we do lean on AI to assist with that as well, and the robots to train the other robots as well. Sure. So there is that component of it. That doesn't seem to be the greater challenge. It just comes down to how much demand, right? At the end of the day, when it gets overwhelming, we will hit bottlenecks. Yep. But at the same time, my job is to overcome them.
There we go. And we look forward to keeping up with TechForce Robotics under the ticker of Nightfood Holdings for now. They are on OTC as NGTF. But with its dual focus on owning hotel properties and offering robotics as a service, RaaS, Nightfood Holdings is strategically positioned with their TechForce robotics arm to capitalize on the rapidly growing global service robotics market, which is, as Mr. Jimmy Chan mentioned, expected to surpass $170 billion by 2030. That's a large addressable market, and I can't wait to see you guys own it. Stay tuned here with me. I'm Carmel Fisher, and we'll be bringing you more revelatory episodes in the world of capital markets. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
The Stock2Me Podcast is an original content production powered by IBN, a multifaceted financial news and publishing company that delivers next-generation corporate communication solutions. Utilizing proprietary corporate communication tools such as news aggregation and syndication, social communication, and brand awareness techniques, among others, IBN introduces both public and private companies to diverse audiences to enhance reach and recognition. IBN may receive compensation for services and solutions provided to its client partners. You should assume that the owners, officers, and directors of IBN or financial analysts mentioned in this production may hold a position in and may intend to trade the securities in their own accounts. This production is not an offer or recommendation to buy or sell any securities that may be mentioned in this production. The information in this broadcast is presented solely for informative purposes and is not intended to be or should it be construed as investment advice. As in all investments, investment in the featured companies carries inherent investment risk. Listeners should review the companies thoroughly with a registered investment advisor or registered stockbroker. This production by IBN is not purported to be a complete study of the featured company or other companies mentioned. Information used in statements of fact have been obtained from featured companies and other sources but not verified nor guaranteed by IBN as to completeness and accuracy. Such information is subject to change without notice. Please see IBN's full disclaimers and disclosures at www.ibn.fm/disclaimer. Music in this episode is by Infraction. For more, visit inaudio.org.